Hello, and welcome to my Chapter 2 presentation on the power of culture. In this presentation, I will be showing you 3 salient points from this chapter. Salient point number 1 is understanding culture. What is culture? Well, I put it in quotes because it's a very broad term. However, the textbook broke it down into 3 different levels. Level 1 is the surface level, or as you can see in this photo, what we see. Some examples of this are artifacts like dress and art, symbols, holidays, our language, dance, even children's games. For level 2, this is about behaviors, or what we say, as it shows in this image. Some examples of behaviors are customs, greetings, interactional patterns. When I was living in Japan, there's a very strong pattern of communication where every time you met somebody, you would say hajimemashite, and they would always say hajimemashite. That means nice to meet you. And then you would say who you are. Watashi wa Carly desu. I'm Carly. They'd say their name. And then you'd say yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And that means I hope that we have good relations. However, in American culture, in the broad context of the dominant culture, that would not always 100% happen. There are times I've met somebody where they'd say, hey, what's up? And I'd say, hey, nice to meet you. And then be like, I'm blah, 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 and walk away. So we don't really have as strong a pattern culturally there as far as greetings go. Let me go down to level 3, which is implicit aspects, or what we believe. Some examples of implicit aspects are values, norms, expectations, and beliefs. Down here, I have this image, and what it's all about is that culture is kind of like this. And what that is that culture is entangled in a whole bunch of different parts of ourselves. It's never really this straight line, although maybe the blue can symbolize one person and the green symbolize another. But everybody can identify with different cultures and subcultures. Let's get to salient point number 2. Salient point number 2, I'll be talking about the radicalization, racialization, and the hidden curriculum in education. So what do I mean by radicalization? Racialization? I'll get that right next time. Well, racialization, got it, means that race has been used as a tool to keep certain people the dominant and empowered culture. And the trick to keeping certain cultures separated is mainly based off of physical appearance, otherwise known as the phenotypes in genes. So the phenotypes are within our DNA and they show us what color hair we will have, eyes, skin tone, height. So this is a man-made form of superiority versus inferiority. Through this distinction of multiple races that we have ignored the one race, which is the human race, and instead used how people look for justification for overtaking and exploiting others. This leads into the hidden curriculum in education. A hidden curriculum is an implicit set of values that exist but may be found mostly by looking at behaviors and unstated practices in content. Exhibit A. Here we have William Shakespeare. Everybody in the US who's been through high school, maybe even junior high school, knows his name. Down here, if it didn't say Langston Hughes right underneath his name, not everybody would be able to recognize him. However, William Shakespeare is from England, and Langston Hughes is born and bred in America. So why do we value William Shakespeare's voice over Langston Hughes? That's a great question. By giving precedent to a non-native US citizen, William Shakespeare, over a citizen of the US, that truly shows more depth of what it is to be an American, specifically a Black man in America in the times of the Harlem Renaissance. It shows where the priorities are, and that's not on the minority classes who deserve to have a stronger voice in our education system. This leads me to salient point number 3, classroom application. So thinking about that dynamic of Shakespeare versus Hughes being presented in the classroom, I personally, as an English language arts teacher, feel inspired to put more voices into the diversity that is America, instead of having an Anglo, white, European perspective in the classroom. So how can we apply that? Well, the textbook offers us 5 key points: listen and observe, learn, be open, clarify, and collaborate. Listen and observe is all about getting to know your students, who they are, what sport and activities do they enjoy. Then learn is about gaining information about cultural groups and educating yourself as a teacher as to the backgrounds of the students. The next point, be open. This is all about you having unbiased conversations and learning different views and values. Clarify, is about asking the students, even the parents, about how they and you can make the school a better place and also help the community. The last part, collaborate, is about how can you bring the community together to establish common goals. Do you see certain issues the same or differently, and how can you come together to solve them? Thank you for watching these 3 salient points, understanding what culture actually is, how our school system has become racialized and that affects our curriculum, and finally, how can we as teachers make this situation a bit alleviated. Thank you for watching. Until next time.